Yeah, good morning, everyone. So, yesterday we learned CSS units and colors. So, we discussed about CSS related something like integration. So, we learned how to handle CSS integration and CSS selectors and CSS units, CSS colors, and CSS rules. These are very commonly asked concepts actually. When you are learning CSS, you must know these basics. How to integrate CSS into your page, how to use different types of selectors for selecting elements. Because in order to apply effects, you have to select elements first. For that, you need selectors. And how to define dimensions, width, height, and everything, how you configure units. Yesterday we learned two types of units are there. What are those? Absolute units and relative. What is difference? Relative units will change according to the parent. Absolute units are independent. And colors, we discussed how to use RGB, HSL, and gradients. Rules, we already know. If you keep embedded inline external, which one will work? If you write ID, class, type, which one will work? All these comes under rules. One more very important, but we discussed already. We have CSS inheritance. We have CSS inheritance. Already one option about this we discussed. If you remembered, I told you headings have a predefined style. Headings have a predefined style like bold, size. Can we remove any specific style? Yeah. For heading, automatically bold will come, line break will come, and the font size will be there. Can we remove any specific effect if you don't? Yes. How? You remembered I told you one point? How to remove bold for heading? You remembered I told you a concept called unset. While learning about headings, I showed you that heading have a default style. If you want, you can ignore any default style. How you do? By using unset. Well, that is one option we discussed. So inheritance usually have concept of inheritance is nothing but instead it is the process. It is the process of implementing. Inheritance is the process of implementing implementing parent styles to child. Parent styles to child. So you can control the implementation. You can control the implementation. So by using values, we have values like unset, inherit, and initial. We have three important options: unset, inherit, and initial. That is CSS inheritance. So why we need this inheritance? How you configure that, I will show you. For example, What is the concept of inheritance is, suppose open the project here, and in this project we are defining some effects. So we have a container and we have a paragraph. So the container is having some paragraph. Now see, what I am doing is, for a container I am adding some effects like border, 3-pixel double border, and we have some red, and padding is 20 pixel, and color is some red. Like this we are applying some effect, and you see, now I will just run this and I will define font size as some 30 pixels. See here, this is a container, and inside the container we have paragraph. I applied effects to which element? I applied effects to which element? Container. That means apply for div. Then why paragraph is in red color? Inside the container. So what is happening? Paragraph is adapting the effects of its parent. Am I right? Then why it is not having border? Parent have border, na? Why only color and size? Why not border? Point understood? That means the child elements are automatically implementing the parent features. All features same? No. That means few features it implemented, others it is ignoring. That means it have font style of parent, it have color of parent, but not border of parent. So we can control this. This is what actually inheritance means. CSS inheritance means we can control which effect child should have, which effect it should not have. We can control. Now the paragraph inside container, it is not implementing the border of container. So we can make it implement. How? You just write paragraph P, the border for paragraph, it should inherit. You have to use the word inherit. That means this inherit word indicates that now the paragraph will implement its parent border. It will inherit, and you can see that it is going to inherit. But it is not inheriting padding. It inherited only border. We want padding also to inherit. Then we will use padding. Padding is what? Inherit. That means padding also it will inherit. And I don't want color to inherit. I don't want color to inherit. That means color is automatically inheriting. We don't want, then we have to just put color as initial. Initial means before it inherits the parent, what was its color? That is initial color. What was it initial color? Black. It will have that color. So font size also initial. That means we say font size as what? Initial. Initial font size is small. That means you can control which effect to implement, which effect not to implement. That is the concept of inheritance. Inheritance have two options. You have inherit, another one initial. Just now you have seen. Now the point is, if I want, will remove here. You see, it is implementing some features, not implementing. I want it to implement all features of parent. You can simply put all inherit instead of writing one, because your wish, you can choose which one you want. You say all inherit, it will inherit all. The padding, the borders, the styles, everything. So if you want specific, then you can manually amend them. If you want specific, you can manually configure everyone. So what I have done here, I have created, so border inherit. Another one, padding also inherit. But font, but color, we don't want to inherit. So we have to set as initial. And font size, we don't want. Then we have to set it to initial. Like this. We can control that. We can define like this. When to use unset? If there is no parent and automatically some effects are implemented without any parent, then you have to use what? Unset. Unset is used when there is no parent and some default effects are defined. If default effects are defined, default effect means what you know. For example, so we are writing heading here, heading styles. Now what should happen is this heading have default effects. There is no parent to implement. Parent is body. Is body having this kind of style? No, then automatically it is having some styles. Then how do we remove? You cannot use initial now. Why we cannot use initial? Because there is no parent for this. That means that is the initial. So then what you do? You simply put heading and you tell what you want to unset. That means you want to set font weight. Font weight as what? Unset. And you can see it removes font weight. You want to remove all, then you know what you have to do. All as what? Unset. All as unset. Suppose if I am giving all as initial, so it is not good here. It may look like that, but there is no parent. Initial is used only when there is an parent. So if there is no parent, then always you define what is it? Unset. That is important. So what is difference between these three? I will show that point. Unset is used to remove the default attributes for element. Is used to remove the default attributes for element. Inherit can implement the parent attributes. Initial will set the effects, set the attributes to their initial state. So which is before transformation. These are the three basic things syntactically. So some paragraph I am giving, some font size as initial, some border as inherit, like this. Example I will give you. Padding as inherit. Like this we define. You can control all of them. You can simply use all as inherit. You can set all inherit also. So this is called a CSS inheritance. Right. Now, once you know the inheritance here, now we can understand about some important attributes here. What are the basic attributes we can see? These are all basic rules of CSS. Because generally in interviews, when anyone have to ask questions to you, there will be questions among these points only. Because anywhere they will not ask question like how to put a background color, how to put a border, all such things. They will ask about rules, they will ask about inheritance, they will ask about various color styles, they will ask about various selectors. So any front-end related interview will be related to these basic points only. Right? Now we need to know some CSS attributes. Already we have to know CSS we call as box model. CSS box model is nothing but it defines how you arrange your content in a page and how you set the borders and all. Actually, what is present in CSS box model is we already know. Box model comprises of number one, it contains margin, it contains padding, it contains border, it contains border radius, and it contains width and height. And I think we learnt all of them, right? We know all of them. We know how to set margins, margin left, margin right, margin top, bottom. We learned how to set padding, and we know what is padding, right? We know how to set border. So how do we set border radius? And we know how to set width and height. These usually comes under the category of box model. So we already learned them. In several examples, we used them. In several examples, we implemented also, right? So we, from the beginning onwards, we are using them, right? There is nothing new, but what extra you need to know here is, already we know this, but what extra you need to know is actually first margins. Generally, we have attribute called margin. So margin, it is shorthand for all directions. It is shorthand for all directions. In margin, so many will be there. It is shorthand for all directions. We have margin left, we have margin right, we have margin top, and we have margin bottom. But margin is shorthand for all directions. Instead of separately writing left, right, top, bottom, you can write with margin. Actually, so what is the new thing you learn here is, suppose there is a div, we can put margin like this. Actually, margin, it uses values. First top value, after that right value, and after that bottom value, and after that left value. You can directly mention like this. That means a clockwise top, right, bottom, left. That means, for example, if you want to set margins, suppose you see here, I will take this container. Yeah, in this container, for this, container is there. For this container, I want to set left and right margin. If I want to set left and right margin, earlier how you used to write margin left, margin right. Now you can simply write like this, margin. So 0 pixel, that is top, right? And you mention as 100 pixel, that is right. And 0 pixel, this is bottom. And 100 pixel, that is left. That means you are keeping left and right, not commas, spaces. Yeah, I just given the values there. Here you need space, and you see it will be left and right. There is no top and bottom. You can control your margin styles. That means by writing one, you can control all. You don't need to write 4 times margin top, margin bottom. How to set only margin top and bottom? The first value and the third. The first and third value are top and bottom. So that is the direction of margin. So how you get div? We have to give margin, and we have 0 pixel and 100 pixel, 0 pixel and 100 pixel. What it is going to set? It is going to set left and right, like this. You can control with one value. You don't need to write 4 times. All these days you may be writing 4 times or 3 times or 2 times. Now if you want to set top and bottom margin, then how do we set? We simply put a div and we define what? Margin. So 0 pixel and 100 pixel. That is how we need to configure. This is nothing but top 0, this is 0, and this is 100. Okay. This is top, and this is right, and this is bottom. This is the left. That means you have top and bottom. That's how you configure. So margins already we know, only the concept is extra what is here. So extra is shorthand. Same thing you can handle for padding also. For padding, we have padding. Padding is what? Shorthand all directions. You have options. What is it? Padding left. We have like padding right. We have like padding top. We have like padding bottom. No need to give any example, you know already. So you can define in all directions. Just one syntax I will give. So do you have padding? And everything is same. 100 pixel, say some 20 pixel, 0 pixel, 20 pixel and 0 pixel. Instead of writing many times, you can easily handle using a shorthand technique. So if you want only one direction, then you can just write padding left or padding right or top, like that. Multiple, then better you go with this technique. So we know margins and we know padding and we know border. But what you know about border is a shorthand. Border has so many things again. That means actually when you are applying border, you know border. Border is what? Border is shorthand. Shorthand for style, size, and color. Border is shorthand for style, size, and color. All three you apply at one place. Actually, we have separate. So we have separate options for border. What is the separate option for border is? Border is having separate options. You written like this now. So actually you have separate options like border, border style. Border style is double. After that border size. Border size. Size means it is width. Width is how much? 10 pixel. And we have border color. Border color. Border color is red. Like this we have to write. Instead of writing like this, we are writing in one line. Independently you can write. Independently you can write, it will be like this. That means individually you can define these options. So how do we define? We have option. What is it? Border style. Like solid, like double, like dotted, like dashed, like groove, like this. So many will be there. We have border width. Border width is nothing but size. We have border color. It is nothing but color. It is not done. So many more are there. What are so many more? Actually, you have border left. This is left shorthand. This is left shorthand for style, size, and color. That means what you can do? Border left style, border left width. We have border left color. Like this you can write separately. And similarly, similar. So for all directions. That means border top, border bottom, border right, all directions separate are there. That means you can independently mention the borders, separate appearance. Border left, border right, border top, border bottom, all directions. So many are there. What we were doing is just one border, all we can set with one. That is good enough for if you want all borders same. If you want left border different, right border different, then you can create. So such lot of colors, lot of styles are not used in regular web designing. They are used in only holy days. You know Holi? During Holi, we show lot of colors on our screen. Other than that, we don't need any time. Professionally, whenever you are designing website, so you need to follow 70-20-10 approach for colors. Whenever you are designing a website, professional websites should follow 70-20-10 approach. That means 70% one color, 20% another color, and 10% another color. Not more than 3 shades of colors. Officially, a professional recommendation, right? Because user should not get confused with your website. You put lot of colors, animations, effects. It looks like nonsense, right? It is attractive only for you, not for others, right? That's the reason we need to keep this formula. Any professional people follow this formula. You see 70-20-10 formula. Suppose you are watching some Netflix like professional people. You see here they follow the rule. What is 70? What is 70 here? 70 is black. What is 30 here? 30 is white. What is 10? Red. That's it. That is very professional and it looks very clean. What? You are greater than Netflix like people. Huh? You put hundreds of colors on your screen and make it like a nonsense, right? That is not good also, right? For visually not good, because sometimes people are having color blindness, you know. Yes, this is very important. We need to design website for accessibility. We have to design website for accessibility. That means people who are visually challenged cannot see certain type of colors. They will miss your content. And usually majority of people who watch regularly mobiles and YouTube, always on mobile, after 3-4 years they will get compulsory color blindness. You know na? Compulsory. Any one color will be missing. You will not notice. Understood? Huh? Right? Any one color will be missing. You will not notice until or unless you go for a test. So always try to reduce the screen time. Right? So because these days website people are using this mechanism of accessibility, that means they are facing from a lot of people this issue. They complain that these colors are not visible. Colors are not visible. So we need to make it proper. Right? So don't use lot of colors. Always follow this formula. Professional people always use this technique. Images, we can't change colors. Images will be having colors, but the screen presentation should follow that. That is important. So you can give different borders. See now what I am doing here. Suppose I am configuring a border like this. Let's put border here. We are having, so border left. Border left is 5 pixel solid, some red color we are having. So red color we are having. So we have border top as 2 pixel, some double and blue like this we are having. And again border right as some 3 pixel, some solid red color we are having. And border bottom we are having some 2 pixel, some double and some blue color we are having. You see different types of border styles we are applying. That means I am applying the different border style. I will just change this. So this is how much border left and top. I will give similar. Means I will give just red. And here I given as some 4 pixel and 4 pixel. And this I will change as blue. So this is just, we are applying the borders in different styles. We are applying the border in different styles. Every border can have different style, color, appearance, everything. You can independently configure them here. You can apply for image or a div or a table anywhere. So these are options. Earlier what we were doing, we were applying only border. Here you have one more option. When you are applying border, we have border image. You can set image as border. We have border image. So we can set image as border instead of color, style, image. But to set image, some rules are there. What are the basic rules? Let's see. Actually, to set image, I will remove this. Yeah, you have just some container. I want to apply border image. If you want to apply border image must be suitable for that. You can't take large images because you can't clearly observe that it is border, right? If you create good border images, then it will be easy for you. You can put any picture. For example, see, here we are having images, some A1, A2 like this. Okay. See, now I'm using to set border image. First, you have to set border 10 pixel thickness. It is solid border, but transparent, no color, because an empty border should be there. On that only you can put a picture. First you put the border. After you put border, on that border you can put border image. Remember, border image you cannot keep if there is no border. First you have to set the border. And why you are not giving color? Because even you give color, it will not work. That's the reason, keep it transparent. Image URL. What is the image URL? It is present in what? Public. It is in what? Images. Where is our file? In CSS, na? Then how to access outside? // We have public, we have images, and a1.jpg. If I keep border image like this, you see the 4 corner images will be there. The 4 corner image will be there here. And actually now border image have style like you can put space, you can put stretch. I put stretch. Stretch means it will stretch, but we need to tell how much percent to stretch. 40% to stretch. Then you can see it will be like this. I can use stretch or I can use space. I can use like space. Then space will be like this. But you can't see properly. Why? Because that's some large image. It is not suitable for borders. You have to have images suitable for border, then you can examine that. Let's try one. What we will do is, we will open MS Paint. In this MS Paint, I will create a small size. You know how to adjust the width and height of paint. And let's create a simple border suitable image. I am creating a simple border suitable image like this. I will copy this. Yep. And I will attach like this. I am creating one small image. Again, size also important. You can keep any size, but always keep small size. That is good for border. I am creating like this one image, and this is just for border. And I will just fill up some colors here. I will add some colors here. Okay, and that's enough. I will save this. Let's put the size correctly up to this and save this in our project folder. In our D drive, we have a Flipkart. In that public, in that images, what it is. So this is border, and I will give GIF file. I told you already, buttons, bullets, borders, we give which format? GIF. I will save that in GIF format. That's fine. Now you link that and see here, instead of a1.jpg, what we will use? What? Border.gif. And we are adding border GIF. It will be like this. And see, now depends on the space. I given space. I will give what? Stretch. Stretch will be like this, and the stretch percent is 80. Then you see it will be like this. The border looks like that. And that depends on how much you stretch. 90 I am stretching, it will be like this. I'm adding some padding for this padding as 20 pixel, then you have like this. That's an border image. Every image will not come like that. That depends on how you design the image, right? Sometimes you will not even see like image, right? That's the reason you should have reasonable content, and size depends on this. Suppose you given 5 pixel solid, then it will be thinner. I said 15 pixel solid, then it will be thicker. Remember, if you don't give border and directly give only border image, it will not work. Border image requires border. And even you give color, time waste, because it will not apply any color. So you will just have an image. And you see, I given stretch. You can give what? Space. Space means it will be like this now. You can have space, you can have stretch, and you can display different, right? So you can add different types of border images. That is important. So syntactically, to keep border image, so we have to write like this. First, you need to set border transparent. After that, you need to set border image. Border image usually have an URL, and we have public images, and you have some image, some border.gif, and here you have to put space, or you have to put stretch, and you have to put the percentage 40 or some 90, like this I define. And actually here, so 90 is nothing but it is the value 1 to 100. The percentage is how much you can define. So you cannot have a border image without defining border. So these are border related things. So all these days, you know border, but today what you learned is how to independently handle them. And how do we extra put a border image? Instead of a color, you can put image. Now here, when you are defining border image, you see here, suppose I will copy this example. Suppose the border image we try to put here, so linear, so gradient like options. That means border image, linear, gradient and all. We can't apply them. That linear gradient, radial gradient can be applied only as background image. But you will see such colors. You will see such colors. They are actually not colors, they are image only. They put gradient shades. They will take one image with gradient shade and they will put that. Because sometimes people ask, like, can we have gradient shade for border? You cannot have gradient shade for border. That is actually an image. They put an image like that. Okay. That is usually border related. One more option is there. We have border radius. Border radius also we know, but border radius, so border radius is shorthand. Actually, you have different. What are different we are having? We are having like border top right radius. We have like border top left radius. So we have like border bottom right radius. You have like border bottom left radius. These are all radius. Different directions you can give radius. I think this I already explained. While working with images, we can apply image anywhere you can apply. So we can define border radius. So border radius you can apply for div or image or anywhere you can specify. Let's see here. Let's put one image. I will write some image here. Image source is, it is in public images, some fashion 1.jpg, and image width is 300 and height is 400. This is the image we are having. And for this image, this is the image. You see what I am doing. Border top right radius. Border type top right radius I given 200 pixel. Then it looks like this. That means I given some 100 pixel. That means it looks like this. And I am giving another one, border bottom left radius as 100 pixel. Then image looks like this. These are image styles. Usually when you see such images, sometimes doubt will come how they cut like that. So they don't cut, they just put border radius. Depending on width and height, by using border radius, you can design that, right? That means if you want circle, you know that. How do you do that? This is one example for different border radius. You can keep circle like you know what to do. What you have to do, just you need to apply one border radius, some 400 pixel, then it will display like this. A circle-like appearance you can get only when width is and height is correctly configured. Then you will see. So to get a proper circle, width and height should be equal. Then you will get the proper circle-like appearance. That's a general thing, how you apply borders. This is example. These are border related radius. This all comes under box model. All comes under box model. Width and height, no need to explain. Already we know width and height. In box model, what are the options? Margin, padding, border radius, width and height, right? Next important in CSS, you need to know another CSS positions. CSS box model, CSS positions. Positions also few already we learned. I told you sticky position. I told you fixed position. Am I right? Fixed and sticky position already we discussed. Actually, position contains static. It contains relative. It contains absolute. It contains fixed and sticky. These are the positions of CSS we have. Position is a static, relative, absolute, fixed and sticky. These are the positions we are having. Different CSS positions. I will tell you what these are, how they are controlled. Actually, see, we have the positions like this. First, I will tell you here static. First, static. Static is, it is default position. Default position for element. Static is default position, and it will not allow to move element from its location, from its position. It will not allow to move element from its position. That means it keeps element according to normal flow of document. That means in document where you kept the element, it will be there only. Dynamically, you cannot control it. If you give position static to any element, later nobody can change its place. That means if anybody try to change the place of element using JavaScript dynamically, it will not work for this. That means static means it is exactly where it is written. You cannot move it from its place. So that is the default position actually. That means actually it is not affected by top, left, right, and bottom values. So it is not affected by top, right, and bottom values. It is not affected by those values. It is present exactly where it is. This position is called static. I will show you here. That means it is present exactly where you mentioned. So you cannot change its place. It is fixed according to the normal flow. See now, I will take one example for this. Let's take a div, and we have a class container. In this div, let's copy some paragraph. I am adding some paragraph in the div. Okay, let's put some paragraph here. After that, there is another div inside. It have a class called offer, and I say some 50% off. That's what we have. And see, for container, I'm just giving a border as 2 pixels solid red, and wherever offer is present, background color I set yellow, color I set red, and width I set as some 50 pixels, 70 pixel, padding as 4 pixel. You can see like this. You have a container. Inside the container, you have an offer. Now, what I will do is, for this offer, I am giving position as static. Static is default position. That means where you kept, it will stay there only. That means you see static position, it keeps it where it is present. We kept inside the container, under that paragraph, it will stay there only. Okay, we will try to control. I am using top as 10 pixel. It is not affected. I am using right as 10 pixel. It is not affected. You can't move it. In future, through JavaScript, anybody tries to move it, it will not move, because its default position is what? Static. That is the fixed one, static position. Okay, that is the first concept. Every element by default is static. But if you keep static position, nobody can move it in future. Dynamically, nobody can change its position. Then there is another one, absolute. Absolute is nothing but it removes element from normal flow of document. It removes element from normal flow of document. Means where you kept the element, it will not be there. It is removed from there. An element is removed from its place. Let's see whether it is removing or not. You see now, currently, the element, the offer is present inside this container. And see what I am doing. It is present inside the container. See what I am doing. I am using position as absolute. And see what will happen. It will remove from its place. Is it removed? Is it removed? Earlier it was inside container, na? It was inside container. Now it is outside. It is removed from its place. Absolute will remove element from its place. If I don't give this position, default position is static. It is inside container. Am I right? Now when you give absolute, it is removed from its place. After removing, you can control where you want. That means after removing, what you can do is you can set new position using left, right, top or bottom. You can set new position where you want, right side where you want, top where you want, bottom you want. You can set a new position. But very important is, so it is fixed to content in page. It is fixed to content in page, not to browser. It is fixed to content in page, not to browser. That is the point about absolute. Absolute is fixed to content in page. It is fixed to content in page. I will show you what does that means. It is fixed to content, not to browser. That means now what happens is, you see now, I will put some more paragraphs, means so that we can have a lot of content for scrolling. We have a lot of content for scrolling. You can see this is. Now what happens is, the position of the element is removed from its place. After removing, what I am doing here is, I am keeping the position like this. So for this, what we are giving is top as 10 pixel. And you can see it moves to top 10. Or I will give top 100 pixel. It will be 100. And I will give another right as 10 pixel. You see right side 10. But remember, absolute means now it is fixed. It is fixed to content in page, not to browser. It is fixed to content in page. Then what will happen? When I move, it will move along with content. It will move along with the content because it is fixed to the content. Right? It will move along with the content. You can do one thing. You can make it fixed to browser. Instead of content, you can make it fixed to browser. Then instead of absolute, you have to use what? Fixed. That means fixed also same like absolute. It removes element from place. You can set a new position, but this time it is fixed not to content. It is fixed to browser. Then what will happen if it is fixed to browser? Then you can scroll your content. You can scroll your content and it is fixed to that place. This position is called as fixed. So if anyone asks what is difference between absolute and fixed? Absolute is attached to content and fixed is attached to browser. Both elements, in both cases, element is removed from the flow. So what happens in fixed position? So it removes element from normal flow. Same. You can set new position using left, right and all. It is fixed to browser, not to page or not to content in page. That's what the difference. If you want to attach to content, use absolute. If you want to attach to page browser, you use fixed. If you want to lock scrolling, then always use fixed. If you want to scroll along with the content, use absolute. These are the positions. Next important, we have another position is sticky. Sticky, it keeps element according to normal flow. of document. It keeps element according to normal flow of document. So it is not removed from its place. So it is kept as it is. But what is point is, it can lock scrolling. It can lock scrolling after reaching specific point. That is one advantage. That means it will be at its place only. It is not removed from its place. But after reaching certain point, it can stop. It can stop scrolling. It can lock scrolling. That is the concept of sticky position. Already I explained this while we are learning with data list. Data list terms, definitions. I told you one position called sticky. So sticky will keep the element according to the normal flow, and it will stick after reaching specific point. It will lock scrolling. For example, see here, we are defining this offer. The back width I am not giving. Suppose background color is black. Okay. And you can see that, so there is some offer like content here. What I will do is color, I will just keep white, and font size as 30 pixel. Okay. I will keep this somewhere in between. That means you can see that it is present somewhere here. Now I will give the position for this offer. The position is sticky. When I give position sticky, now where to stick you have to tell. Top 0 pixel it should stick. That means you see, is it removed from its place? It is not removed from its place. It is present. Is it scrolling along with the content? Yes. But after reaching 0 top, rest of content will be scrolling. This position is called as sticky. I already showed you this while working data list and all. Right? So sticky position, how to keep. I showed you some websites like Inox movies and all. These people, you see, they have a toolbar. This Inox is having a quick booking toolbar. This quick booking toolbar, you see it is center screen. When I am scrolling up, what happens is it will move along with the page. After reaching top, it will stick there. Then rest of content we can scroll. This kind of position is called as sticky. That is actually the concept of sticky. Right? How do we define the sticky positions? Right? So this is another one, sticky. Now tell me which positions remove element from its place. Which element remove element from its place? Which position? 2 positions will remove element from its place. What are those? Absolute and fixed. Which position keep element along with the flow? Sticky. Another one, static. That is another important is you have relative. Actually, relative is used for parent element to keep all its child elements relative to parent context. It is used for parent element to keep all its child elements relative to parent context. That means it makes sure that the child elements will not go outside the parent. That means it is just like it creates a border and the child elements should be inside the border. They should not go outside. Of course, you give position outside the border, it can show, but its default concept is relative. Actually, what it can do is it allows to remove element from its flow. It allows to remove element from its flow. But relative is not given for change the position of element. Relative is given only for whom? Parent. Only for parent we give that. I will show you one option here. Suppose, so we are creating like this. Here I am adding a button. We designed a class container, and here we are adding link. Relation is a style sheet, and href is what? So node modules, bootstrap, dist, css, bootstrap.css. We are using bootstrap also. Container fluid, and for this button I am adding class btn and btn memory. And this button is having, suppose we are having some messages, or we are giving some messages. Yeah, span class bi bell. Okay, this must be bell fill. In that case, you need bootstrap icons also. href is node modules, bootstrap icons. Okay. And I said here notifications and another span. We have another span. I will give as 4. This is the basic design here we are having. I just have bell, notifications, and this one. Now actually this we will keep margin top as it be like this. This notifications must be here. That notifications number must be there. The number must be there, right side top corner. We want to display that. Then what we do is here. So for this span, I will give a class called count. Okay. And now see what we are doing. We are writing style for count. We need to remove element from its place. Then position is what? Absolute, or position is fixed. Okay. After that, I will give top as, suppose top as 10 pixel and right as 10 pixel. You see, it is completely removed from its place and it went outside. Actually, it is not having a color. I will use background color as some red. I'm just using background color red. You will see that is there. So I'm giving padding as 5 pixel, and we have border radius. Border radius is 30 pixel, something like this. So we have it is a span display as what? Inline block. Then we can adjust the width as 30 pixel. You will see like this. So width and height also 30 pixel. It will be in this way. Right? It is suppose 20 pixel. That means width and height we are adjusting. Then we remove the padding much. It will be easy for us. Right? So we are just adding these options. Let's keep padding as 2 pixel. Some gap is there. And width and height, I think 25 looks okay. The width and height we are configuring. Yeah. Hmm. 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 Oh. Hmm. So here we need to keep this. We need to keep this right side top corner. We need to keep that right side top corner. But see, when you see position absolute, it is removed from the parent. Na? Who is the parent? Who is the parent element for that? Button. Inside button, na, it is having actually. Inside button, it is having. Parent element is what? Button. Then what we want to do is, we want button not to allow its child to go outside. Then what we will do is, for button, we have to give position as what? Relative. Then it keeps that inside it. Now what you do is, you change the top right positions. Top right minus 10, and you will see that it is in the corner. We can change the positions. If I don't give relative, then it is according to the page. The parent elements, if you give relative, it keeps always within the context of parent. Within the context of parent. So relative is the position given for whom? Relative is the position given for parent elements, so that it keeps all its child elements within the context. If you don't give this, position relative to button, automatically it is somewhere right side corner. Right? I need to keep it relative. Then position should be relative for button. Actually, that is what it is keeping the position. This generally you see, I asked you to try get bootstrap. I asked you to try this template. Am I right? This is the template we tried. In this template, you see these are all designed like that. I hope now you can try this. And you see not only that, you see in this there is a save 30%. Is it positioned according to page? It is not positioned according to page. It is positioned according to the container. In that container, right 10, top 10 like that. That means the container should have which position? Absolute. Absolute position. For example, see, suppose you are trying like that. I will give here an div. The class for this div is some fashion. Okay. And here I am accessing so fashion. Okay, for fashion, width is some 400 pixel. Height also some 400 pixel. Width and height we defined as 400 pixel. You will have the image, and we need some background image. Background image URL. It is from public. What images? In public images, suppose we have fashion2.jpg. You see the background image will be like this. We have a background image like this. Now what we want to do is, inside that we will keep actually background size. Background size as what? Cover. Then it will fit like this. And what we are doing here, inside that fashion, I'm having so a div, and the div have offer, and let's keep here 30%. And we will give a class as what? Offer. Now how this offer should look like? Just I am accessing offer, and offer background color is red. So color is white, and we have width as some 50 pixel. height also 50 pixel, border radius also some 50 pixel, and you can see there will be offer like that. And I will give text align as what? Center. It will keep like this. We want to keep it right side corner. Then what we do is, for this offer, we will give position. Position is what? Absolute. Top, how many pixel? 10. Right, how many pixel? 10. But it will go outside the page. So who is the parent of this? The parent of this is that fashion. That means this fashion container should keep all its child inside it. Then for this fashion, what is the position you have to give? Relative. Then it will keep everything relative. That's how we do. Position relative. So these are done by using such combinations. That's a very regularly seen concept. Positions are very important. Understood all the positions? Many people who directly try to learn some CSS from websites and all, they are always confused about positions. That's the reason online on YouTube, when you search CSS topic, you will see out of 170 videos are related to CSS positions. Videos in a simple way. That's the reason you will see lot of videos about positions. Why you will see lot of videos about positions? Because even so many videos are there, people are still confused. But there is no confusion. If you learnt in an order, in a proper way, it's very simple. Static position means it will not allow the element to move from its place. That is the default position. Absolute position means it removes the element from its place, but keeps the element with regard to content in the page, not to the browser. Which one will keep according to browser? Fixed position will do. And what is sticky? It keeps element according to the flow, but it sticks after reaching to specific point. What is relative? Relative is the position given for parents, so that it keeps all its child elements with relative to the parent. That is the actual hierarchy of that. This all comes under the category of positions. These are positions. So this is one simple example for that. I will copy this one about the position. Now, next, one more thing while working with positions, you need to know about Z index. Z index. So it is used to send backward or back. So it is used to send, bring forward or front. This is important. Many times you need to send backward, back, forward, front. What is difference between backward and back? What is difference between backward and back, forward and front? Suppose you are standing in a queue. There are 10 people and you are in 10th place in queue. I asked you to come forward. Where will you come? One step. That means 9. If I ask you to come front, then you will come to first. That is difference between forward and front. You are in the first position. I ask you to go backward. That means one step back. That means second place. Go back or last position. That is Usually, this is very important when elements overlap. For example, you see elements usually overlap. Suppose I showed you, so get bootstrap themes, some website themes you see, when you see the sample website, some card designs. Yeah, you can see here. Now in this kind of design, you will observe here a doubt like how a card comes over another card, right? How they overlap each other. This is Z index. Through Z index, you can control which one front, which one back, you can control that. That means you see now, suppose you can control that. Suppose I'm defining here a div and the class is some black card. Okay. Another div, the class is some red card. Something like this we are giving. And another div, the class is some blue card. We have some options. In that you can have any image, content or anything you have. Just what I am doing is in the style, every div I'm just giving width as 400 pixel, height as 300 pixel. And I just give border radius as 20 pixel. That's it. And we will have like, yeah, black card. We will have background color as black. So similarly, we are having red card, and background color is what? Red. And we are having another one, blue card, and the background color is blue. Like this we are configuring. Now what happens is you see all these cards will be like this. All these cards are like this. For every card height, I will just give 200 is enough, like this. And observe now, for all the cards, I give position div as absolute. They removed from their place and all will overlap now. That means behind the blue card, others are there. Okay, we will do one thing. For blue card, I will give margin left as 100 pixel. So 200 pixel. And margin top as 50 pixel. And you can see it will be like this. And I will give red card. So yeah, red card, margin left. So margin left as suppose 50 pixel, 100 pixel. And margin top as 25 pixel. And you can see it is all three cards you can see now. I want to bring the red card front and blue behind. That means we need to change their positions, right? Then you can do that like this. First, black card, Z index is 0. 0 means from bottom. From bottom 0, 1, 2, 3, depending on how many contents you are having. Okay. What is red position? By default, it is having Z index. Z index is 1. What is the blue default position? Z index is 2. It is having like this. By default, it is like that. Let's change the positions now. Red card I will keep in 2. Blue card I will keep in 1. Then you see the position changes. That means red card will come front and blue will go behind. I want to send blue behind all. That means actually the blue card margin left, it is having suppose 0 or say 10 pixel. I will give like this. It will be like this. I want to send the blue card behind and black front. Then what you have to do? Blue card index will be how much? 0. And the black card must be 1. If you give both same position, both will be overlapping on each other. Then you can see that position changes now. I want to blink the back card top. Then the red card will be at 1 and this will be at 2. And you see it brings on to top. We can change the positions. We can control that by using Z index. Z index. That's a simple example for that actually. This is the concept of Z index. We can keep Z index and it can be 0. That is at the bottom. From there you can control according to the elements. This is the example for that. Right. So this is Z index. So few more effects are there. With that we will wrap this part. So then we will see bootstrap related effects now. That will continue in next session tomorrow. Right. For offline people, tomorrow our session will be in second floor. Right, in second floor. Right. So tomorrow second floor for offline people. Okay. Tomorrow will continue. Right.